What's up everyone? My name is Chelsea and I'm going to be teaching a bunch of different styles of art as well as different skills that you can use. You may not realize you're an artist. I feel like a lot of people say, I'm not an artist, I'm not good at art, I can't draw. And you don't realize that everybody's that way. It just takes a lot of practice. So I'm going to be teaching very simple ways to kind of trick your brain into making art projects a little easier, and it's going to make it really fun as well. So one way that I like to compile my artwork is in a sketchbook or in an art book of some sort. I have several, so I can look through the years and see how my artwork has progressed. Now, all of these ideas don't have to come out of your own head because they don't do that for me. What I like to do is come up with different styles of art that I'll get inspiration from other artists or things that I've seen online. So this may not even be what it ends up turning out to look like at the end from what I'm telling you. You can come up with your own style and inspiration from different things that we work on. So I like to use my handy dandy art books. I have quite a few for different sketchbooks. I like to use a book that I have pasted my own artwork into that we'll go through and add into. But you can feel free to use whatever works best for you. I think that the best tools that you have are the ones that you have with you, so that you can constantly be working on your art and progressing. So today we are going to be making some tie-dye shirts, but not actually a t-shirt. We are going to be making different art to put into this art book. So this is what it turns out looking like, and we are going to make it kind of that 3D effect, but it'll still fit into a journal, or if you want to hang it up on your wall, you can do that as well. So you're going to need some watercolor, some water, you need your paintbrushes, and something to work on. You also will need a flat station to work at, different workspace, if it's like a table, if you have your desk, something like that to work at. It's going to make it a lot easier. So let's get started. Alrighty everyone, hopefully you have your materials ready to go. We should have our paints, our water, our paintbrushes, and then our t-shirt templates, as well as your book out on your desk. Lots of materials today. What we are going to do is we are going to paint our t-shirts first, then cut them out, then we are going to wrinkle them. I have these two examples here. They're very different. If you look, this one is probably my better one. And this one has more of a spiked design to it. The circles aren't as smooth, which I like because it gives it more of a tie-dye look to it, a little less perfect. This one kind of looks more like a bullseye. If you'll see, the circles around it are very smooth edges, and I didn't like that as much. Also, since this was the first one that I tried, the first trial and error, I painted this one after I wrinkled it, and what you'll notice is it's a lot more smooth. And then this one, I actually painted it first and then wrinkled it after it dried, and this one turned out better because it looks more of like an actual t-shirt. So we will be using those two examples. You can also try to do a spiral design to it. So if you have a pencil, you can draw out a spiral design and then kind of make it like those more complicated, I guess, t-shirt designs for tie-dye. So I'm going to go ahead and take my brush and I'm going to dip it in the water, and very gently I'm going to take my red and get a little pigment on there, a little bit of color. You kind of scrub it around a little bit very gently to give it more dark color than if I just did one little bit like this. It doesn't look as dark. So I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna start with my bullseye style first and put red in the center like this. And you don't want to put too much water when you do this. So if I'm switching my colors, I take my water and I very gently take the side and squeeze out the extra water and then touch it to the paints on here. That's to keep it from getting too saturated. Saturated means that it's holding way too much water and it's actually gonna ruin our paper because our paper is not very thick on purpose to give it that wrinkled effect, but it also will make it very easy to tear or get kind of soggy. Then we're gonna move on to our orange. So I'm gonna take my orange and do it a couple times just to get a darker color to it. Not a ton of water, just a little bit. Here we go. And then I'm gonna go around the edges right here. Now you'll notice that it'll kind of mix with the color from before. That's perfect because what you can do is switch back and forth. So then I'm gonna go into my red again. And like I said before, I like the style with the more bumpy edges or the more spiked edges to give it a tie-dye look. So I'm gonna go back with my red and kind of make this like, maybe like a sun or something like that with the lines coming off of it to make it a little bit less perfect. Like that. You could also take your brush and tap it up and down to make it more textured, like that. Then I'm gonna clean it off, go back to my orange. There's a lot of back and forth of the colors to give it more of a blended look. Then I'm gonna come into the edges with that design of making it look textured, like that. And then I go switch my color, dry off my brush a little bit, and then come to the yellow. Okay, squeeze out the extra water. Go to the circle and around. And if you scrub a little bit on the side very gently, it'll mix the color from before really nicely with it. The lighter colors are gonna be a little bit more difficult to blend with the darker colors. So when you come in like with this green, for example, the yellow is really, really light. So what I'm gonna do is to give more of that textured effect, I'm gonna come in with lines like this and draw the lines out from the edge of the yellow, because the yellow, if I try to do it with that, it wouldn't show up very well. And these colors are turning out a little light, so what I'm gonna do is scrub around on my watercolor paint to make it a little darker, because I like those vibrant dark colors. There we go, that's better. Going around in a circle like this. Okay. And you don't have to go with the rainbow. I like the rainbow because it's that classic look of a tie-dye piece, but you can also do whatever color, just the same as like when you do tie-dye for real. You pick the colors that you like the most. That is totally fine. So we're gonna make a couple different shirts. So this one's just the first one, but you can do other colors for your other shirts if you want to. And then since this one's a little darker, we're gonna do the lines like this, because it would show up really well if I did just a straight perfect circle, and it wouldn't look as realistic right there. So I'm tapping my brush to give it a little bit more color. If you want some white space too, a lot of people like white space on their tie-dye, because like a real shirt, see how I have the white space right here? I'm not gonna do that for this first one, but maybe for one of my other ones I'll do that. Then I'm gonna get my purple, and I'm gonna go all the way to the outer edge right here, because I wanna make a dark purple and blue in between to kind of blend those colors a little bit better, just to make it look more like a rainbow in my opinion. Like this. Still going with that circle design. Get a little darker of the purple. There we go. Okay, then I'm gonna take on the side, put a little bit of blue, a little bit of purple to mix, so don't mix it into your paints as much. You can do it on the side. If I kind of scoop it up and put it out here, and then it'll give me that darker color in between. Like that. Okay, and there is my first tie-dye. If you notice that you want to go back in and add a little bit more darkness to the other colors, now that that first layer has dried, feel free to do so. That's what I'm gonna do right here. Like that. And then I'm gonna go back in with my orange because it wasn't quite bright enough for me. And then add that in. Okay, and there's that. And that's my first shirt. So I'm gonna allow that to dry while I do my other shirts. I think I'm gonna do a spiral design. If you have your pencil, you're gonna take that out now. Don't think I have a pencil, so I'm going to use a pen. But basically what you're gonna do is you're going to draw a spiral out. So I'm gonna do it like this. And it's okay if it goes off your t-shirt because you're still gonna follow that line. So now that I have my spiral, I'm going to take whatever colors I'm using. I think I'm gonna use a blue and purple mixture. So this color I think would be really nice, as well as this one, and then maybe I'll mix that darker purpley blue that I did on here to be the in-between. But basically what I'm gonna do is allow the colors to touch my line, and that I'm gonna use that as my guideline all the way around to make my, my spiral. So take your brush and do spikes like this, all the way. You're gonna keep it on the same side of your line. So if I did it on top of the line, I'm gonna follow that same spot all the way around to the center, like that. You can go as short or as long as you'd like. Start off small, go bigger, up to you, like this. My first one that I made didn't turn out great, but like I keep telling you guys, practice makes perfect. You won't be perfect your first try that you do something. Keep practicing it. Okay, so then what I'm gonna do, I want a little bit of white space in between, so I'm gonna leave a gap, and I'm gonna do purple out here. Okay. And it kind of looks like tie-dye now with that spiral. Okay. Going in that circle design. There we go. Okay, and I'm gonna add a little bit more blue over here just to finish up the edges of that shirt. Okay, and that's my second one. If you notice, my first one is already almost dry. That's perfect because we are gonna get started on the next thing right now. And then you can do your final shirt whatever color you want. I'm just gonna leave it for now because you all get the idea. Then you're gonna take your scissors and you are gonna cut out the first one that started to dry. If you want the black on the outside, you can choose to keep the black on there. If you don't want the black, you can cut it off. I think it's a little easier to go along the outside of the black line. Plus it gives it a little bit more dimension for the outline of your shirt, so you can really see it pretty well. Alrighty. Being careful not to cut off my sleeves. And if it's still pretty wet, you're gonna wanna wait before you cut it out, just because as you start to cut, it might rip it. Paper is very fragile when it's wet. And since this is a thinner paper, it's even more fragile, so you wanna be careful with that. Okay, and here is our t-shirt design. And then since it is pretty much dry, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna crumple it. Now be careful when you're crumpling so you don't rip off your sleeves or put tears in it, but very gently kind of put it together into a ball. Looks like a little gum wrapper, like this. And then you're gonna uncrumple it like this. And now it looks like a wrinkled t-shirt. You can choose to do it a lot or a little bit, it's up to you. I like mine like that. And then I'm gonna find a blank space in my notebook. This is where the creativity comes in. Oh, perfect. So if you want to do, I found a really cute one where they did a clothesline. So at home you probably have a dryer, but some houses, or back in the old days, they used to lay out their clothes on a clothesline, which is like a big piece of rope, and they would clip the t-shirts onto that clothesline to dry in the sun. So I'm gonna draw something very similar on here. You can also, if you kind of want to wait, you can take a piece of yarn and put that in there as well. I'm not going to put yarn just because I want my book to close really well. And if I have a lot of things that I'm gluing in that are larger, it's just going to get really fat and never close. So I'm just going to draw my clothesline on here. I think that would be good. And then I'm going to do another set of clothesline down here. Another line. So what they use to attach them is a clothespin. Those are those wooden little clips. Sometimes we use them for clothespin tag, or we use them to hang up pictures and things like that. And I'm gonna draw those here. So I'm gonna take my shirt and I'm gonna see where it would fit. And I'm gonna draw a little clothespin here and a little clothespin here. Okay, and so when we glue that on, it's gonna look like this t-shirt is hanging on here on its own. And this is what it looks like glued in. Hard. So sometimes when you feel like something's a little challenging and you feel like, oh, I'm not as good of a painter as so-and-so, you are going to challenge yourself when you take those mistakes that you've made, or those art projects that maybe you had an idea in your head and you worked on it and it turned out even better because you're constantly adding to your artwork. That's gonna make you a way better artist than if you just had the natural skill. I did not start off with a natural skill. I have been practicing and practicing for a really long time, and that's how I've gotten better, because I challenge myself. If I just copied somebody's artwork all the time and I was like, I'm comparing myself to that person's artwork and oh, it's never gonna measure up, then you're not challenging yourself, because you're supposed to compare yourself from when you first started until the end of your project, or when you've added those skills in and you're using these new different techniques. That's how you're gonna make yourself a better artist. So don't ever feel discouraged when it doesn't turn out like some person that you've seen or anything like that. Your practice is gonna get you there. Just make sure you're patient, and in your artwork, if you feel frustrated or if you feel like, oh, I'm not good enough, that's gonna show through. You need to be positive about your artwork and give yourself a chance, because that's gonna make your artwork feel more fun, and for you, you're gonna wanna go back and keep doing it, and that's how you're gonna practice, rather than if you were just like, this sucked, I didn't really like it, and you give up. So make sure that you constantly are giving yourself that positive feedback, and that you are you're working on your artwork to get better. So thank you so much for watching. Make sure you guys comment what you wanna work on next, maybe a skill that you wanna learn, and I will make sure to take those into consideration. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. See you next time.